Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cliffhangers and Page Turners. How's your week been treating you?
Mine's been pretty hectic, honestly, but I always look forward to this settling in for our book chat.
Definitely. My week's been a bit crazy too. Lots of reading though, which is always good. Always nice to escape into a story.
Totally. And speaking of escaping or maybe getting trapped in a story, today we are diving headfirst into a book that, wow, it really kept us on the edge of our seats, constantly second-guessing everything we thought we knew. We're talking about Deborah Stone's absolutely gripping novel, Nowhere Man.
Ah, yes. This one is, well, it's a masterclass in psychological suspense, isn't it? It weaves together multiple lives in a way that just builds and builds that tension, page after page. You really can't put it down.
Exactly. And if you're into gripping book discussions, maybe some wild plot twists, definitely hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. We drop new episodes every Friday.
Yeah, and just a reminder, you can find all our past episodes, the full library, only over on our YouTube channel. So if you miss one, you can always catch up there.
Okay, let's unpack this. Nowhere Man. From the moment I picked it up, I knew I was in for a ride, but I don't think I was prepared for just how many layers Deborah Stone had hidden in there.
No, you really weren't. What's fascinating here is how the narrative constantly shifts your perspective, doesn't it? It makes you question every single character's motive, maybe even their sanity at times. It definitely defied my expectations. I thought I knew where it was going, but nope.
Oh, completely. And it starts right away, doesn't it, with that Stephen King quote? The trust of the innocent is the liar's most useful tool.
Powerful opener.
Right? How perfectly does that foreshadow the themes? Deception, trust, vulnerability. It's all laid out right there. Absolutely. It's not just a cool quote she found. It feels like the absolute foundation of the whole story. It immediately tells you, okay, pay attention to who trusts whom and why. It's a warning signal.
And then there's the structure itself, the table of contents. It's broken into parts. Did you see that as a hint, like multiple perspectives or timelines coming?
Definitely. It felt like a deliberate signal from Stone saying, okay, this isn't straightforward. We're going to be jumping around, seeing things from different angles. It primes you for complexity.
Yeah, it hints at fractured stories, maybe fractured lives, which leads us straight into those core themes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Deception, obviously.
Yeah.
Hidden identities are huge. But also the fragility of trust, how easily it shatters, and the long-lasting impact of past trauma. That runs really deep through this book.
And the title itself, Nowhere Man. That concept, it's not just about Patrick, is it? It seems to apply in different ways to several characters.
That's a great point. It's this idea of being untethered, maybe lacking a core identity, or being so lost in a constructed life that the real person is just gone, invisible.
Someone who is just not really there. A ghost in their own life. Chilling.
Precisely. It plays out in so many disturbing ways.
Okay, let's dive into that opening scene then. Patrick's departure. It's described as a suicide, but there's something so unsettling about it.
Oh, deeply unsettling. The level of detail Stone gives us is incredible.
Right. His meticulous, almost ritualistic preparations. The struggle with the heavy armchair, tossing aside those crocheted arm protectors Diana probably made.
Yeah, the little details speak volumes. Like the accumulated dust under the chair he moves, implying it hasn't been cleaned there. Feels like a final petty jab at Diana, almost.
I didn't even think of it that way, but yeah. And his reflection. Out of sight and out of mind, he thinks. A phrase that could possibly sum up most of his life.
Until now, when he was simply out of his mind, having lost sight of any other solution. It's heartbreaking, but also calculated.
Yes, calculated is the word. The detail about the electrical shortcomings of the house, needing the extension cable, taking the shade off the lamp for that harsh white light, it's not impulsive.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And his appearance, still having thick, wavy hair at 65, putting on his gold crucifix, his favorite blue-striped tie, even polishing his brogues with a damp flannel.
It's like he's staging it, preparing for a final, awful performance.
Exactly. It immediately raises questions. Here's where it gets really interesting. What were your initial thoughts on Patrick right then? Did you feel sympathy, or was there just this immediate sense of unease?
Oh, definitely unease. Sympathy, yes, because it's a desperate act. But the meticulousness, the almost cold precision, it felt wrong. It didn't feel like pure despair. It felt like there was anger underneath it.
I agree. Deborah Stone crafts this scene with such care, showing us his final moments, his perspective. But it immediately signals that there's way more to this man than meets the eye. That cold, harsh white light he seeks, the careful presentation. It's not a spontaneous act of someone just giving up. It feels deliberate, almost accusatory.
Yeah. And then poor Diana, her discovery. She comes home exhausted from work.
And finds him just sitting there. Ramrod straight in the chair, his eyes open, staring straight ahead. Just awful.
The description is so vivid, so grim. The small pool of vomit, the stained tie, horrific details.
And her reaction, first paralysis, then this explosion of grief and rage. Why? Why, Patrick? What the bloody hell have you done? You feel that raw shock with her.
But then she finds the letter. The unsealed, typed letter.
Ah, the letter. That's where the real psychological game begins, isn't it?
I have never been completely honest with you, and I can't go on living a lie. Please forgive me. Your loving husband, Patrick. Typed. Not even signed by hand.
So what does this all mean? This letter is so loaded, isn't it? What do you think Diana felt reading those words, knowing he hadn't even put pen to paper for his final message?
Betrayal, right. On top of the grief, confusion. What lie? How is he dishonest? It opens up this abyss of doubt.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture Stone is painting, this note, so deliberately unsigned, almost feels like another layer of Patrick's carefully constructed distance, even in death. It's designed, I think, to provoke more questions than it answers for Diana. It's not closure. It's the opposite. It's designed to unravel her.
It's like a final act of control, leaving her completely destabilized.
Precisely. And things only get worse for Diana from there, don't they? It's like a cascade.
Oh, yeah. Starting with her mother, Marjorie. Marjorie is quite a character, isn't she?
Understatement. Difficult, demanding. You feel for Diana having to deal with her.
Remember that first mishap? Marjorie trapped under the garage door? Diana's reaction, muttering, "Bugger off," to the nosy neighbors under her breath.
It's darkly funny, but also shows Diana's exhaustion and underlying guilt. She feels responsible, even when her mother is being impossible.
And Marjorie's reaction to Patrick's suicide is just, wow. So uncharitable. I wouldn't have thought he was that brave. Mind you, he might have been selfish enough.
Ouch. Yeah, she doesn't mince words. But it adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it? Maybe Marjorie saw something in Patrick that Diana missed.
Perhaps. But then Marjorie herself becomes so vulnerable. The scammer Tom something from the council.
Oh, that part was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Convincing her to share her bank details. It's such a common, cruel scam.
And the consequence is just devastating. The second fatal stroke happens right after the scammer's visit. And Diana is just overwhelmed with guilt.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
How do you think Deborah Stone uses Marjorie's character here? It feels like more than just adding drama.
Well, it highlights Diana's isolation, I think. She's lost her husband, now her difficult mother, and she feels responsible for both in some way. It leaves her completely alone and maybe more susceptible to what comes next.
That's a really good point. Marjorie's misfortunes, initially almost darkly comic, escalate into real tragedy, exposing Diana's limitations and vulnerabilities. It definitely sets the stage for deeper betrayals to come.
And speaking of betrayals, the deliveries, this part was just wild.
Right. Suddenly all this expensive stuff starts arriving.
Right.
Washing machine, dryer, fancy toaster, Nespresso machine.
All totally out of character for Patrick, who was known for being, well, tight with money, a miser, basically.
And then box of sex toys.
Okay, that just blew my mind. Sex toys and luxury appliances from a husband Diana describes as conventional, maybe even fundamentally disinterested in bed. What is going on?
It's designed to completely shatter Diana's image of him, isn't it? What message do you think Patrick was trying to send? Or was it even Patrick?
That's the question. At first, you assume it's him, sending some bizarre posthumous message. But then Diana tries to return everything.
And hits that bureaucratic wall. Need the person who placed the order. Or authorization from her dead husband. It's maddening.
And the timing. She realizes he ordered them 2 days before he died. And the payments. Untraceable on his known accounts.
Okay, so this raises a really important question. These deliveries are clearly a crucial breadcrumb trail. They're meant to dismantle Diana's perception of Patrick, imply this hidden life. It feels like a deliberate act of posthumous psychological warfare. It's cruel.
Cruel and incredibly confusing. Is he trying to tell her something specific, or is someone else messing with her?
It just layers on the uncertainty and paranoia for Diana. She can't trust her memories. She can't trust what's happening now.
And right into this chaos walks Ian.
Ian, the apparent godsend.
He shows up in her shop, buying a gift. There's that weird small electric shock when their hands touch.
Yeah, that little detail felt significant, maybe a bit cheesy, but it signals something.
He seems nice enough at first, well-preserved, flatters her, offers support, starts meeting her for coffee.
But Diana feels irritated by him, doesn't she? Even though she's lonely and isolated, she can't quite bring herself to push him away because he's just so persistent.
Exactly. And then, after Patrick's death and Marjorie's stroke, he really steps up, offers to help with the shop. Seems like a lifesaver.
Okay, let's unpack this. Ian seems like a lifeline for Diana in her darkest hour, but there's something off about him, isn't there? Did you trust him from the start?
I have to say, I didn't.
Not for a second. The persistence felt less like kindness and more like pressure, and then his behavior gets genuinely unsettling.
Like turning up at her home uninvited. Yes, and peering through the letterbox. And knowing where she lived even though she never told him. Huge red flags waving frantically.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture of manipulation, Ian's seemingly supportive role feels carefully engineered. He positions himself as a savior, deliberately exploiting Diana's vulnerability. But his actions, the boundary pushing, the knowing things he shouldn't, they clearly indicate a deeper, more manipulative agenda right from the outset. That electric shock detail feels almost like a warning in hindsight, doesn't it?
Definitely. It's like he's trying too hard to create this instant connection, and then he shares that story after Patrick's funeral.
Right, the story about his parents, his father's affairs, his mother's bitterness turning into hatred, ending up with stomach cancer, like she was consumed by a puddle of bile.
He gets really emotional, slams the glass down, talks about feeling let down. It's quite intense.
It is intense, and it mirrors some of Diana's own feelings of betrayal, perhaps. Do you think he was genuinely opening up, sharing his trauma, or was this a calculated move to gain her trust?
Oh, absolutely calculated. It felt performed.
I agree. What's fascinating here is how carefully Ian weaves this narrative. It's a classic manipulation tactic, isn't it? Share a supposed vulnerability that resonates deeply with the target. It creates this false sense of connection, makes Diana feel like, oh, he understands what I'm going through. It lowers her defenses. It certainly set Diana up for a fall.
A huge fall. Okay, let's switch tracks for a bit, because Diana's not the only one being deceived here. Let's talk about Angie.
Right. Angie and Ray. Her life is built on this premise of him being some kind of secret agent.
She sees herself as a part-time wife and mother. Ray claims to work for the Foreign Office, maybe MI5. Their son, Ben, completely buys into it.
Yeah, Ben thinks his dad is a spy like James Bond or Jason Bourne. It's romantic, but it masks the reality of an absent father.
And Angie's getting fed up with it, isn't she? His being uncontactable, missing important things with Ben. She wants a normal life.
You can feel her frustration building.
Yeah.
And her friend Julia plants that seed of doubt, too.
Yeah, Julia's comment. I didn't think civil servants had to work so hard. I mean, to never get any real time off is a little odd, isn't it? Just a casual remark, but it hits home.
It does. It's that external perspective that Angie maybe needed to hear.
Which leads to the big discovery. Angie looking for something in the wardrobe, and those envelopes just flutter down like confetti.
Talk about a dramatic reveal. Letters, bank accounts, all addressed to different men at different addresses, different payment amounts, different sources, like being a beneficiary in a will.
Okay, let's unpack this. Angie's discovery is a massive bombshell. What did you make of Ray's secret job before this? Did you, like Ben, initially buy into the spy narrative, or were your suspicions immediately raised by his behavior?
Well, the constant unavailability was definitely suspicious. But the spy thing is such a convenient cover. Finding those papers, though, that shatters everything.
It does. The sheer volume and variety of these aliases hidden in his own wardrobe. It just screams fraud, doesn't it? This isn't spycraft. It's a meticulously crafted web of deception.
No spy would be that careless, surely, leaving incriminating evidence like that lying around. This immediately dismantles the spy facade for the reader, even if Angie is still reeling.
Her confusion and disbelief are so palpable. She trusted him implicitly. How could the man she loves be all these other people?
It's a complete shattering of her reality. And this is where her friend Julia becomes absolutely crucial.
Oh, Julia's the friend we all need, isn't she? Practical, a bit blunt maybe, but totally committed to helping Angie figure this out.
Absolutely. Angie confides in her, and Julia doesn't hesitate. Her reaction is immediate skepticism. I've always thought there was something fishy about him, to say the least.
That validation must have been so important for Angie, who's probably doubting her own sanity at this point.
Definitely. Julia provides that objective viewpoint. Angie's emotionally invested, maybe in denial. Julia cuts through that.
How crucial was Julia's involvement in getting Angie to face the truth? They start digging, right? Googling names.
Yeah, their sleuthing is what breaks it open. They find a scam victim named Jim Grant. They even contact a newspaper. They're proactive.
And then they find the link, the specific payment, from Patrick Whitlock to Hal Carpenter.
Boom. There it is. The direct connection. Angie's husband, whatever his real name is somehow linked to the death of Diana's husband.
It's chilling. Suddenly, these two separate stories of deception crash into each other. Julia's practicality was key to uncovering that, wasn't it?
Absolutely. What's fascinating here is that Julia's external perspective is vital. Angie's emotional connection to Ray clouded her judgment, but Julia, as an objective observer, immediately recognizes the severity and pushes for answers. Without Julia, Angie might have stayed lost in confusion for much longer.
Okay, so now we know Rain is connected to Patrick. But who is this guy? We need to get into the backstory of the real nowhere man Daniel.
Yes, and his early life, as Stone reveals it, is just incredibly sad. It gives you context, though definitely not excuses.
He was adopted, felt unremarkable, and his adoptive father, who he calls his guardian, was physically and emotionally abusive. Just awful.
And he developed this special gift, as he saw it, noticing everything, uncovering secrets. He used it in school for petty advantages, like finding lost things for rewards.
It's like his coping mechanism became a tool for manipulation early on.
Exactly. And then his adoptive mother has her miracle baby, and Daniel feels completely displaced, pushed aside. That feeling of being unwanted just intensifies.
Which fuels his obsession with finding out who he really is, his search for his birth certificate at the library, the librarian trying to gently warn him.
But he's relentless. He searches the house, even though his father tries to hide it. He's determined to uncover the secret he feels is being kept from him.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Daniel's backstory is incredibly sad, isn't it? You feel for that damaged kid. But does his traumatic childhood explain, or even excuse, the monster he becomes?
It explains the origin, I think. The roots of his anger, his detachment, his need for control. Early trauma and that profound sense of abandonment can absolutely twist a person's development, their morality. His special gift for observation turns dark. Instead of connection, it becomes a tool for manipulation and revenge. But excuse it, no. He makes choices later on.
And then he finds it. The birth certificate, hidden above the shower, and the bombshell.
He already knows one of his biological parents. He's well acquainted with them.
Daniel's adoptive father is also his biological father, and Diana is his mother. How did you react to that twist? It's almost Greek tragedy levels of messed up.
It's staggering. What's fascinating here is the sheer audacity of this reveal. It completely recontextualizes everything. Diana's past trauma, giving up a baby, Patrick's relationship with Daniel, which must have been incredibly complex and secret, and Daniel's entire motivation.
It shifts from maybe wanting connection to pure, calculated revenge, doesn't it? He decides to punish Diana for abandoning him. This wasn't spontaneous. He planned this.
For a long time, it seems. It explains his meticulous infiltration into her life as Ian. It explains his connection to Patrick, likely through blackmail related to this secret. It's a truly brilliant, if deeply disturbing, narrative pivot.
And it illuminates his whole criminal career before this, doesn't it? His time in London as David Prince, the sex worker targeting vulnerable, wealthy people like Valerie Montague.
Yes. His methods were already established. Mapping out targets, using different IDs, recording encounters for blackmail. He was honing his skills in manipulation and exploitation.
He's a true chameleon, detached, calculating, seeing people as means to an end.
Absolutely terrifying. And then his transition to Harley Street as Dr. Blair.
That's particularly cynical, isn't it?
Oh, deeply. Conning patients, getting them to confess their deepest secrets in therapy, and then blackmailing them, that's predatory on a whole other level. It shows his complete lack of empathy. He weaponizes trust in the most vulnerable settings. And this links back to Patrick, too.
Right. The financial relationship, the blackmail. Daniel confirms later he knew Patrick's vulnerabilities, his proclivities, likely related to Daniel's past as David Prince, maybe even involving minors.
Which ultimately gives Daniel the leverage that leads to Patrick's suggested suicide. And let's not forget, he was also Tom, the council scammer who targeted Marjorie.
He's everywhere, pulling the strings, causing destruction. What's most disturbing about his methods, the blackmail, the sexual exploitation, or just the sheer calculated cruelty of how he preys on vulnerability?
I think it's the combination, but fundamentally it's his ability to become whatever the person needs or fears and then twist it. His ability to compartmentalize, to perform these roles without any genuine feeling is chilling. He sees people as objects, as targets. His detachment from genuine human connection makes him incredibly dangerous. He is the ultimate nowhere man existing only through these false personas.
Which brings us to the climax, the plan to lure Ray Daniel out.
Angie is desperate, especially about Ben. The police are useless, calling it a domestic, so Julia comes up with a plan.
Using Ben as bait. It feels risky, but they're out of options. Ben, the little spy, unknowingly messaging his dad, becomes the key.
And Ray Daniel takes the bait. He calls Angie, threatens her about snooping, reveals Ben's been talking to him. He's coming to the flat. The tension is just unbearable.
So they're all there. Diana, Angie, Ben, Julia, trapped in the flat when Daniel, as Ray, arrives.
And he knows they know. The game is up. But he's still in control, taunting them, brandishing a knife.
What a truly insane scene. The raw emotion, the shocking revelation just pouring out. Where do you even begin to process all that? I mean, Daniel admitting he suggested Patrick's suicide, that's pure evil.
It's horrifying. What's fascinating here is the psychological warfare Daniel employs right to the end. He's stripping away everyone's illusions, exposing their deepest wounds, almost reveling in it.
He drops the biggest bombshell first, right? Admits he's both Ian and Ray, confirms it to Diana and Angie face to face.
Yes. And then confesses his complete lack of love or genuine connection to anyone, except, chillingly, for Ben. He sees Ben as his only real kin.
Which is twisted in its own way. Then the details about Patrick the blackmail, knowing his vulnerability, his proclivities, and then casually admitting he suggested suicide, even provided the concoction and the little note.
And dismissing those bizarre deliveries, the washing machine, the sex toys, as just for a laugh. Just pure, callous cruelty, no remorse whatsoever.
None. Then he admits to scamming Marjorie, effectively causing her death. Just lays it all out there.
But the worst is saved for Diana. He finally reveals her deepest trauma. Her father's abuse, confirming Frank warned her, his adoptive father, was her father too.
Being disowned, having her baby taken away, and then the final horrifying truth drops.
I am your son. Daniel reveals he's the baby Diana was forced to give up, and Frank Warner was his biological father. The abuser was the father.
My God, the layers of betrayal and trauma are just unbelievable.
And his justification is chilling. I searched for you because you never attempted to look for me. And I decided very early on that once I'd found you, I would punish you for abandoning me.
It's all about his perceived abandonment. His entire life became about this revenge and his final threat. Blood is thicker. You could never let me down yet again. Like, he owns her now.
It's terrifying. And then when Julia tries to intervene or protect the others, he snaps the physical attack, slashing her shin with the knife.
That moment shifts everything, doesn't it? It shows the violence lurking just beneath the surface of his calculated control. He's truly unhinged.
Absolutely. It proves he's not just a manipulator. He's physically dangerous. The confrontation is just a masterclass in building tension and delivering devastating emotional blows. It leaves everyone shattered.
Utterly shattered. So after that, how does it end? How do they move forward? The resolution for Daniel is neat, maybe.
It is neat, perhaps deliberately so. We get that Times article. Father and son found dead in Milton Keynes. Frank Warner and Daniel, both dead.
So, what does this all mean? The convenience of Daniel and Frank's deaths. Did you feel this was a satisfying conclusion to Daniel's reign of terror, or maybe a bit too tidy?
That's a fair question. It raises an important point. It's an ending that leaves just enough unsaid. We don't know the how, do we? Did Daniel kill Frank and then himself? Did Frank kill Daniel? Did something else happen? This ambiguity allows us to reflect on Daniel's twisted path. Did his revenge consume him? Or was there another intervention? It avoids making him a martyr or giving a simple justice-served ending. It focuses the closure back on the survivors.
That makes sense. It avoids glorifying him, but gives Diana, Angie, and Julia the freedom to move on without him hanging over them.
Exactly. And the focus shifts to their rebuilding, which is actually quite heartwarming, isn't it?
It really is. Diana, Angie, and Ben moving in together. This unconventional, chosen family rising from the ashes of all that deception and trauma.
Diana finds peace, finds family I didn't even know I had. Takes up gardening. It feels like genuine healing.
Angie finds a new path too, enrolling in a creative writing degree, taking back control of her narrative, literally.
I love that detail. And Ben adjusting, calling Diana grandma. It shows life adapting, finding new connections.
Even Julia, recovering with her scar as a reminder, she's still part of their lives, their support system.
It shows the strength of female friendship and solidarity throughout the ordeal.
And that shared understanding they reach. But in the end, we all did it. We shared the agony together. But we must move on for the kids' sake as much as for ourselves. What do you think Deborah Stone is saying here about family, forgiveness, and moving on?
I think she's making a powerful statement about resilience. That family isn't just blood. It's about shared experience, chosen support, creating safety after trauma. Forgiveness isn't explicitly mentioned, but moving forward is key. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the ending emphasizes that new forms of family can emerge from the deepest wounds. It's a hopeful message about human connection triumphing over calculated destruction. The focus on Angie's degree, Ben's stability, it's all about looking forward.
It's a really satisfying, hopeful way to end after such darkness. So after all that, thinking about Daniel, what truly defines a nowhere man? Is it just someone with no ties, no identity, or something deeper?
I think it's someone consumed by a hidden life, by a performance, to the point where the authentic self is lost, or maybe never even formed. They become invisible even to themselves, existing only in the lies. Daniel embodied that he was nothing but the manipulation, the revenge, a profound absence at the core.
That's a chilling thought. Someone defined entirely by the void they create.
Makes you think, doesn't it, about authenticity and the masks people wear.
Wow, what a journey through nowhere, man. Deborah Stone really pulled out all the stops for that one. Intense stuff.
Absolutely gripping from start to finish. So many layers.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on this book. What surprised you most? Were you yelling at Diana not to trust Ian? Let us know in the comments below, wherever you're listening or watching.
Yes, please do. And if you enjoyed this discussion, please make sure to like, comment, share it with fellow book lovers, and subscribe. Your support really helps us keep bringing you these chats.
And definitely make sure you come back next week for episode 26. We'll be dissecting the chilling twists of Karin Slaughter's We Are All Guilty Here. Ooh, that sounds juicy already. You won't want to miss it.
Looking forward to that one. Until then, happy reading.
Bye, everyone. Take care.